This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast, and this is more of a venture capital discussion, the 5 stages of a startup. So we look at businesses, and we get asked often to advise on businesses, to talk to you about their early stage businesses or late stage, very successful businesses. And if you had the great chance to visit with you about all different aspects of this sort of spectrum of where they're at in business, that continuum, that spot that they're in. And one of the things I love and we've come to evaluate is there are almost a funnel, 5 stages of a startup business. First is the idea phase. And ideas are, there's a billion phrases. It's the worthfulness or worthlessness of ideas. I tend to subscribe to the fact that ideas aren't really important, that execution and the next steps are far more important. But the first stage is an idea. Somebody has an idea. And you've got this funnel. That's a very vast funnel. 8 billion people have ideas. You move to the next stage of taking the idea into an actual product or service or something that can be sold or something that can be delivered. Now you're at a spot where you've got the next stage of that funnel where somebody's actually developed into a product or service. And that's the next stage. The third stage is they've actually got some revenues. And this differentiates, I would say, 98% of businesses never get to that spot. You get idea, product, service, then you get revenues, any substantial level of revenues, and there's a whole different discussion about revenues selling directly versus channel sales, distribution sales. In today's world, more and more you need some sort of distribution sales, but a different subject for a different podcast. But first 3 stages, idea, actual product or service, revenues. The fourth stage is profits. And you've actually got a business that not just can generate sales and revenues, but could do so at the right level. You're not giving it away and can manage costs, so you actually have a profitable business. And finally, the 5th stage, is there a way to duplicate and scale this? Can you make it a scalable business? So these are the 5 stages of a business. Often with the venture capital funded business, they might reverse 4 and 5, step 4 and 5, profits and scalability. But either way, you're looking at really the first 3 starting points, an idea, an actual product or service, software, whatever it might be, revenues, and then revenues is sort of direct grassroots versus a channel partner, distribution partner. 4th, profits. And finally, 5th, scalability with, again, sometimes 4 and 5 sort of in different orders. Thank you for listening to the Becker Business Minute, the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast. What a pleasure to visit with you every day. Thank you so much for joining us.